Hey guys, welcome back to Music Talk with John. It's a late night, family's in bed, so I snuck in to put together a video. And this is my new grabs, recent pickups. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you what I have. And there's some exciting stuff in here, and some stuff I'm glad I got a hold of because I don't think it's going to be available later, and I'm kind of glad I got a hold of it. So first one I have here for you is, and there's been mixed reviews on this. This is Pink Floyd Animals.
Pink man, pink man, I should ride you out.
Now this is the 2018 remix. Cool hype stick. Stick? Yeah, sticker. Hype sticker. So right there. So they went in, and I haven't had a chance to listen to this or compare it to the original. Some people like the original. Some people think there's not much of a difference between the two. So it's almost worth it for the cool artwork. I like where I like the original, what they did with that. But I kind of like what they did with this too. And I think it's the same buildings. I forgot the story behind it. But it's cool like that. Just neat. And I think the pig's up there somewhere. Yep. The pig's right there. The famous pig that they flew. I think they had to shoot down because it got out of control or something. It's a cool gatefold. Some pictures in there. It's on black vinyl. Has it's interesting. They went through all the trouble of redoing this, and they put it in just the paper sleeve. So do better, Pink Floyd. Don't get it. But it did come with a cool book, and I was looking through this. So it's Pink Floyd Animals 2018 remix. Very cool artwork. There's a lot of pages here. I don't know if I'm going to show you everything, but there's the old school pictures that I remember. Guess they're getting ready to fly it. So there's a lot of cool pictures in here. It's a nice booklet that they put together. There you go. Richard Wright over there, rest in peace, and Gilmore on that guitar. Look at that. Heck yeah. So you have Dave Mason on those drums. Let's pause here for 1 second. It's Nick Mason, not Dave Mason. Okay, let's continue. And Roger Waters. He's not playing the bass there. It looks like he's playing a Strat or something. I know there's mixed reviews. People think Animals wasn't their best album. I always like the sounds that they used on there. They said it was like kind of an angry Floyd album and political and all that. So, I don't know. I put it on. I enjoy it. I like the lyrics, the big man, pig man, all that stuff. So, anyway, that's a recent pickup. Pink Floyd Animals 2018 remix. Next one I have here, I picked up a used copy of this. I don't have any Dizzy Gillespie. I think I have one Oscar Peterson that I picked up not too long ago. I don't think it was one of these pickups, but anyway, I always knew Dizzy Gillespie growing up on different shows. I can't remember what shows, but in the 70s, 80s, he was just that guy that stood out because he had those big cheeks that popped out, and he had the horn. You can't see it in this picture, but the horn, I think there's a story behind the trumpet where it got bent or some kind of accident, and it went up and shaped weird, and he continued to play the horn. So he's this guy with the big cheeks, because I think the big thing with anybody who plays instruments like saxophone and things like that, you're supposed to keep your cheeks in, and not blow them out, and he just let it go, and he was all like a blowfish, and I just remember that guy. So this is him with Oscar Peterson. I haven't listened to this yet. It's on the Pablo label. I've asked a couple people about that label. Some people say it's fine. I haven't heard any bad word about it, so I'm going to give this a spin, give it a clean first, because who knows how long it's been hanging out. And look at this bad boy. It has some history. A lot of aging on there. But black vinyl, and there's your Pablo label right there. Oscar Peterson and Dizzy Gillespie. I think that's just the name of the album. I don't know if I showed you the back, but there's the back of it. All right, next I had to pick up a copy of this bad boy, Alice in Chains' Dirt.
Here they come to snuff the rooster.
This is 30th anniversary, I believe. Great songs on here. Them Bones, Down in the Hole, Rooster, Angry Chair, and Wood. Not a bad song on this whole thing. There's songs that I didn't get into when I was younger, and I took my time inside They have they have an insert, has the lyrics. They don't have a lot of lyrics to their songs. A lot of instrumental repeating and things like that. But I took the time, put the headphones on, listened to every song. I'm glad I got a copy of this. Sounds good, not a pop. This thing sounds really good. When I rated it, I have a spreadsheet where I keep all my music, and I rated it like good is like, okay, a good sounding album, but very good is like when it stands out because of how good it sounds. I rated it that, in my opinion. So I thought this really sounds good. So good rock album, heavy, dark, because that's what they did. So just definitely a good album. If you do see it, I'd go ahead and grab a copy of it. Okay, so the next one I have here, this is all instrumental. They're a brass band. And it's a friend of mine, and I agree, describe this as like the old 70s cop shows music. Just if you know that kind of music, that's kind of what this sounds like. Love the album cover. I'd almost get it just for that. It's killer. This is called Black Market Brass, and it's Undying Thirst. So it's all instrumental, no vocals on it. Just a good album to put on and listen to all the way through. It is kind of heavy pounding, heavier than just like jazz. So it does have a feel to it. And here's the guys right here. Here's your band. And it's described as, because I was having a hard time figuring out how to describe it. So a noxious mix of diesel and bleach-drenched Afrobeat is how it's described on the hype sticker. And it is a cool hype sticker. And it's Coal Mine Records, and I'm starting to kind of look at their catalog because they're putting out a lot of cool stuff. But there's your cool hype sticker. Kept that bad boy. So anyway, if you're looking for a different type of jazz kind of feel with a beat to it, and like I said, 70s cop shows or movies kind of thing, definitely check these guys out. Maybe just for the album cover alone, because don't know where that came from, that idea, but man, it looks dark and crazy, but I like it. Okay, so this next one I picked up because if you see a Beck, you grab a Beck if you don't have it, because Beck goes quick and you don't see them that often. This is the first one I've been able to pick up other than, what is that name? I always forget the name of the other one, the 80s sounding one. It's going to come to me later, but anyway, Beck Odelay.
Got a devil's haircut in my mind. Got a devil's haircut.
I forgot how good this album was. It has the Devil's Haircut and Where It's At. I always call it two turntables and a microphone, but it's Where It's At. Just every song on here is fun, sounds good. I love the artwork on this. I have no idea what the idea behind this. It looks like a mop dog jumping a fence or something. And just every song, like I said, as soon as you see it back, you just grab it because it's going to go and you're not going to see it again for a while. And any of his original stuff really goes very pricey. So especially like Sea Change, I know that one's pretty hard to get a hold of. And if you find it, it's got a big price tag to it. So cool artwork. Beck's an interesting individual. But definitely like his music because, it's strange at times, his music, but the cool thing about it, there's always like a melody there. There's good lyrics and a good melody, and he just likes to experiment, but I like what he does, so it's very cool. Anyway, so that's Beck Odelay. Sounds good, not a pop on it. Made in Germany. I always express whenever I see Made in Germany how good these German pressings sound, so this does not disappoint. Listen to it. No pops, perfect. All right, so I have a jazz album, and just like everybody and their mother, I had to pick up a stereo version of John Coltrane's Blue Train. And this is a 2-album set, black vinyl, Blue Note Records. Oh, it's a Tone Poet too, which is a good series, good sounding series from Blue Note. The first album is the original album. It has Blue Train, Moment's Notice, Locomotion I like. That one stuck out. I like that song. I think that was the first song on side 2. I'm Old Fashioned and Ladybird. I don't usually care for outtakes and stuff, but I'm glad they put it on a separate album. And they did Did it back to back. Blue Train False Start and a Blue Train alternate take 7, and then later they did a Blue Train alternate take 8. But I enjoyed it. I don't know, maybe it's different because it's jazz and it's instrumental, but I like this. I don't usually like when they put outtakes and things like that on vinyl. It's like, for me, it's weird. I'd rather listen to outtakes on a CD, if that makes sense. On vinyl, it's like if I, put a record on, I want to listen to an album. I don't want to hear outtakes. So I don't know why. I kind of found out about myself recently that I do that. Do you do the same thing? Do you mind outtakes on a record? Let me know. Put it in the comments. But it says Blue Train, Moment's Notice, Lazy Bird, and these are all alternate takes and things like that. And I enjoyed both albums. Not an issue with any of these. No pops, nothing. The sound is amazing. The stereo mix is great. I like jazz and stereo. So I'm really happy with this one. And there's your back. And like I've always kind of said before, like how these jazz albums look, where they always put the artists, the personnel in there and everything, and then a story behind it. So, and then some cool pics there. This is a gatefold. Oof, I messed this up, but it does have a cool booklet inside attached right there. So there's your players. And I don't know if I can do this correctly because it is attached. This looks funky. But the booklet's kind of cool. It has the pictures and the story behind it, so I'll definitely have to read this. There it is, and it's a nice, thick cardboard, too. I tell you, they did a good job. They did a good job on that. I don't know what's behind the booklet. Oh, this is cool, too, behind the booklet. Like the last page of it and the inside of the cover. So, yeah, just a nice, just really thick cardboard. They should do that with all albums. It'll protect the album, and it's just takes away from it being flimsy and all that. So anyway, that's Coltrane, Blue Train, the one everybody's talking about. If you don't have it, I guess because I'm still a newbie at jazz, and I enjoy it, so I would recommend it to people that are new to jazz. Coltrane can get out there, and but I think on this one he hasn't done that yet. So I enjoy this, so I guess I could suggest it to people. I would always put John Coltrane Plays the Blues first if you want to get into Coltrane, because that one I like a lot. But this is a good sounding album. So all right, and then the next one here is Miles Davis, Jack Johnson. This came out, I think, between Bitches Brew and Water Babies, and a friend of mine was telling me that Water Babies was like a compilation or outtakes from other projects. But this features a lot of guitar work. This is where Miles Davis and Hendrix were going to record together at one point. I think this was put out before he would have recorded with Hendrix, and unfortunately when Hendrix passed away, that project never happened. But it kind of made me sad, going, what could that project have been? Listening to the guitar work on this. The guitar work on this is fine. I enjoy it. I like what Miles does. He backs it off, lets the guitar do its thing, and he comes in where he needs to come in, and it's just this is a really good album. I think there's only really 2 tracks on this from what I remember. Yeah, side 1 is Right Off, and then side 2 is Yesternow. So just 2 songs, and it features, let's see, Miles, and then Herbie Hancock's on keyboards. John McLaughlin is on guitar, and yeah, good work on that. Steve Grossman saxophone, Bill Cobham drums, Michael Henderson on the Fender bass. And the back of this is, when I was doing my research, this was the original album cover for it. But for the reissue, they did this, and I like that picture. That's really cool. This is We Are Vinyl. That's a very good product as far as quality. This album doesn't have a pop anything on it. It sounds great. I enjoyed it. And this is on 180 gram vinyl. And I believe we're on, yeah, that's the cool Columbia label there. And it's on black vinyl. So a cool Miles album if you want to branch out from Miles when he gets sort of into his fusion state. This is a good one to get. And Bitches Brew is like way out there. I love that one. That's where you're like, whoa, this is way different than Kinda Blue or In a Silent Way. But Jack Johnson, I definitely picked that one up too. This one is by one band, Tedeschi Trucks, and what they did not too long ago, it doesn't feel like, they redid Layla. And if you see me drinking this, you know it's in there if you've watched my past videos. It ain't apple juice. All right. So the pandemic hit. Tedeschi Trucks was like, man, we got to keep it going. We have to, our livelihood is playing and recording and all this stuff. So what do we do? And they were kind of faced with the pandemic and all that, and the uncertainty of that whole thing as it still kind of continues with COVID and all that. So they did the Layla album live. I think that was before the pandemic. They recorded all that. Then it was kind of like lockdown time. So that Layla thing was kind of like spinning in their heads. That was still going. And when I was watching another YouTuber, and he said they actually took the poem and passed around the poem. It's based off of, okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself, sorry. So Layla by Derek and the Dominoes was the character Layla, who was really Patty Harrison, was a character in a poem. And it's a 90-page poem, I believe. And it was with Layla, and I forgot what her sort of like, it was a childhood romance kind of thing. And then the poem itself stretches out through their lives, and there's tragedy involved. It's hit and miss. Like, he kind of starts doing foolish things because he can't have her sometimes to get her attention. And I think her father, Layla's father, said, I think to him, I'm still trying to get all my facts straight. You can go to the website for this. I'll have to put that down in the description. But the father said, she's the moon. She's like unobtainable to you. You can't have her. You can't touch her. So with that, it is called I Am the Moon. And like I said, it's a four EP set. Man, this thing sounds good. This is like modern day Allman Brothers with the slide guitar and things like that, with Derek Trucks. Hopefully I said his name correctly. Just well done. And there's actually videos on their website to go with this, and there's actually essays to go with it too. So they did a lot of work on it. And the first album, okay, so one thing I'm very impressed by, let me show you the first one. So the first one is called Crescent, and Crescent episode 1 of 4, I Am the Moon, black vinyl, Tedeschi Trucks.
I am the moon, you are the sun.
So that's the front of it, and that's the back. But what they did here, I kind of wish their font was a little bit bigger on these, because I was trying to read it, and it's on a shiny material, and it's hard to read this thing because there's actually a story. They tell you all that stuff I was telling about the pandemic and all that right here. So it's like, you have all this space, man. Could you make it a little bit bigger? Because that was hard to read. I'm like an old person with like the magnifying glass going. But they have the lyrics and everything, so it's easy to follow along. Tells you who's playing what. It has great horns, great organ in there, some acoustic stuff in there. It's just really good. But what I like, what they did here, you have the cover, and it's paper. But inside of it, each one of the albums is nice poly-lined, if it wants to come out. There we go. Just, they put it in there. I like it. It's on black vinyl. Very cool. But they took the time to go, we want to put together a nice product. So they literally put the polyline inside of the paper sleeve. And of course, now I'll never get it inside. So all you other people putting together record pressing companies and plants, this is how you do it right here. Look at that. Boom. That's nice. So that's the first one. And this is one that's going to grow on me. I listened to the album, liked everything I heard. Nothing's exactly stuck out yet. And sometimes it doesn't have to. You can put on an album and really enjoy it. But I'm sure I'm going to start remembering the lyrics and singing along with it, and it's going to come together. But like I said, it's brand new. It was a lot to take in. It's 4 albums, it's 4 EPs, but there's a lot of material here. So, but I never got to a point in it. You know when an album's not going well, when you're at a point where you're like, okay, what's the next song? You know, so that didn't do this. So this was perfect. So that's the first one, Crescent from I Am the Moon. The second album is called Ascension. And there's your artwork there. And the backside. I don't know if you lay this out or something, if it does anything fancy, or if just each one is all held on its own. I don't know. But like I said, I'm still getting used to. There's a lot to absorb with this collection. So that's the second one, Ascension. Third one is The Fall. And there it is, and they're falling. There they go. And the backside looks like it's the same thing. So very cool. And then the last album here is Farewell. And it looks like they're going their separate ways. And there they are right there. So anyway, definitely very, very cool concept album deal. Well done. They took a lot of time with it, and I really appreciate that they did that, and then the music matches it too, so it's really a nice set. So if you like that Allman Brothers sound with that slide guitar, that's all over it. Good soulful singing. Susan Tedeschi, just really, man, she's got a great soulful voice. I really enjoy her voice. So anyway, that's my new grabs. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you know anything about these albums or have any suggestions for me, definitely leave me a comment. Hit that like button, subscribe for me. Got a lot of people watching. You're probably a first timer because I get a lot of those. Hit the subscribe button for me so you can see more of these videos, and leave a comment and let me know what else you'd like to see, and I'll definitely make videos for you. All right, so again, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. And until next time, you guys enjoy your music, and you take care out there. Bye.